Welcome to With Love Inaya. This is Shivangi, and if you're a NIFT aspirant waiting anxiously for your results to come out for the general ability test and the creative ability test, this video is specifically for you to prepare you well in advance for the situation test. And also, if you are just a curious visitor trying to collect information and data about NIFT entrance examination and the whole process, I made a couple of videos about that in the past, which you can see up here in the playlist somewhere, and you're in the right place. So without wasting any time, let's quickly get into this video and start with it. Alright, so the situation test is the second leg of the NIFT entrance examination, and only once you clear the GAT and the CAT, which is the general ability test and the creative ability test, is that you are able to sit for the situation test. And the situation test holds 20% weightage of the total examinations. So GAT holds 30% weightage and 50% weightage is on CAT, and the remaining 20% of that 100% is for your situation test. Now getting to what the situation test is actually about. The situation test is basically an examination held for 2 hours at one of your centers that you had filled out in your application form, and it judges you on various parameters, but it is a situation test. So on the spot you will be given a question and you have to solve it. In here, solving means creating a 3D, three-dimensional model of something that they have asked you for. On the spot, write about it, talk about it in your write-up, and create something that's innovative and that's unique. As I just spoke, the time duration for the situation test is 2 hours, so you have to realize that you really have to time yourself very well, and you have to be on top of your game when you see your question paper. Talking about the question paper format is of a 3D model, so you will be asked to make a three-dimensional model out of the products or the material that NIFT supplies you with. So there will be a box or a packet in which there will be a bunch of materials which you're supposed to use to create and answer the question that they've asked you. The questions could vary from making a puppet to talk about a social cause, a mascot, maybe a paper bag for a wedding, maybe a theme park, maybe a factory scene, things like that. It can be anything and everything, and they're judging you on a lot of parameters, some of which include your creative ability, your innovation skills, your skill of material handling, your color composition and color scheme theory, and how innovative and out of the box your idea is, but at the same time how practical and how functional it is. No additional material other than the material that has been provided to you should be used for making the product. So other than everything else that they're supplying you with, the only things you should be carrying with you are a pair of scissors, a paper cutter, some Fevicol or glue or Fevistick. Carry a bunch of these, you never know what you might need. And also a pen. A pen basically just to write about your product, and also to maybe do some detailing work if you feel like your product needs it. The materials that can be provided to you or may be provided to you for your entrance examination could vary from colored paper, thermocol balls, thermocol sheet, wire, clay, ice cream sticks, a cardboard, very non-conventional products, but you're supposed to create something out of it. So understand that they're not looking at a perfect replica of something that already exists, but they're looking at your material handling skills and with what finesse and with what finishing you can actually make a product, and how creatively you can use the materials given to you. Now, some pro tips that I would have for you guys would be that try and use the maximum of all the products or the materials that have been given to you. At least try and use 80 to 90% of the material given to you. Make sure once you're done making your model, you have ample time to do your write-up. Right when your question paper comes to you, I would personally advise you to do that. Right when your question paper comes in your hands, pick up a topic that you can actually also write about, and simultaneously while you're making and working on your model, in your head keep thinking of things that you can write about. So say for example, if you're making a theme park, I'll talk about my example. I had gotten the question paper and I had made a themed park, which was an alien themed park for my situation test. And even when I started my question, answering my question, in my head, at the back of my mind, I was thinking of things that I could write about. So automatically, while I was making the product, I would be like, oh, you know what, a UFO themed like a UFO merry-go-round sounds exciting, because that's something I could talk about and write about. So I made a UFO themed like, you know, merry-go-round. Then the other thing was, oh, my swings could actually have aliens on them. So then I made like a swing which was, you know, while, so basically you have to walk parallelly. You can't like make the product and then wonder what you're supposed to write, because that is something I feel most students face difficulties in. They're very good with their products, but you have to realize that your product is not going to talk for itself, and you will not be there during the jury or during the evaluation to support your product and talk about it. The only support that you have is your written piece of paper or the written material which you will leave behind. So that has to have everything, and that has to express all your creativity and all your creative ideas that you had in mind while making your product. So make sure you give at least a minimum of 25 to 30 minutes to your written paper. I had given a good 30 minutes to my write-up. I remember it so clearly that I had written like a whole bunch of things about how I was inspired by aliens as a child, and hence I made like an alien themed park, and my themed park has like this UFO and you know, it has these swings inspired by the same, and I used my cardboard as the base. So do not cut your cardboard. Another tip that I would have, do not cut your cardboard unless like you're making a puppet or a 3D model. Even so, keep a small portion of it with you so that you can have a base at least, because you can't make things directly on the table. Like if you get like a factory scene, or if you are making, you know, like the like a studio of a fashion designer, you cannot expect to put those things just on a table, right? You will need a base support. So before you start using your materials, divide what material will go into using what things. It takes like just the 5-10 minutes, initial 5-10 minutes to actually segregate your you know, information, whatever you have in your mind, and the products, the pieces that you're making, to put together that whole product, and then decide isme ye material jayega, isme ye material jayega, isme ye material jayega. Trust me, it will make your life so much more easier. Also, again, once you're given your paper, carry a pencil also with you maybe, and write down on your paper in pencil that these are the things that I'm making, and these are the products, you know, that I'll be using. Because I know you can get really anxious and nervous during your situation test, and you might lose out on some information. You might forget some things which you had thought of initially. So just quickly jot them down. Do not waste more than 5 minutes on doing this. You have to realize you have to time yourself well and not waste a single minute, and not, you know, fret over things unnecessarily. My other tip for you guys would be, try making a product with finesse and skill. Try making something that's, you know, not unfinished and not dirty and doesn't have like Fevicol marks on it and all of that. Try making a clean 3D model, a clean product, because that is what you're being judged on. Your material handling skills, your finesse, your you know, innovation, your creativity, all of it put together, and you do not want your examiner to have like a dirty model to look at. Now another thing is, once you're done with your project and you've put it on the table, do not forget to keep everything else that you do not require anymore, or that is extra which is left. Put all the leftovers in the same plastic or the same box that they came in. Clean your table and clean your surroundings. Do not leave kachra around your area. It is all about presentation, guys. Your presentation skills, sorry, your presentation skills have to be on point. You have to devote and keep at least 5 minutes after doing everything, your write-up, your product, everything, to just clean up your space and make sure that things look really nice. Now my last advice for you guys would be, and that is something which is even in the admission guidelines, I do this every time. It is also in the admission guidelines of NIFT. If you go to nift.ac.in, you'll find it there as well. But one really important thing, but we always tend to neglect it. It is that please do not leave any personal information or data on your paper. Do not write your personal name, your details, anything that has not been asked for, anything that has not been requested for. Do not put it in. You have a very, very fair chance of being disqualified if you do. please do not do that, please. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. This is a basic what is a situation test video. I might and I will do a couple of videos talking about material exploration and how you can manage your time and how you can you know, what kind of products can you make in and probably solve a couple of questions for you guys and in my next couple of videos. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, I'm going to see you guys next time. But hey, before you get out of this video and like click on something else, make sure you hit the subscribe button and follow me on my journey. Bye.